Hello, everyone. This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out at Night.
Mostly.
Well, you know the drill. Before we get into the critique, the review, whatever you call it, our little just shot by shot discussion. Go to your favorite podcasting sites. Giving YouTube. Go search us up. Mostly Come Out at Night podcast. You'll see a logo with 2 beer steins and a microphone in the middle. Go ahead and give us a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We do recommendations every 5 episodes, all that good stuff. Just bringing you the goods every single week. Well, as much as we can.
But we have over 200 episodes of goods.
Yeah, so if you like us, go ahead and share and, listen to all the stuff. We have a ton of episodes that you can listen to. Some better than others. Don't go all the way back.
It's up to you. If you are also dedicated, go for it.
But we really appreciate you listening. We appreciate any eyes and ears on our podcast. So thank you so much. And yeah, do all that good stuff. Now into what you really came here for. Mutilations from 1986. Now,
I love this movie.
It is pretty incredible. I was not on board, but you changed my mind. I think we started huffing the copium about probably 15 minutes before that. Well, you were already into it. I took a minute to be like, this is really dumb. But then something happened, and it just clicked. I don't know if my brain clicked. My brain just snapped. I think it just something went loose. I think it just my brain started leaking out of my ears, and I was like, you know what? It's actually an okay movie.
This is not an okay movie. This is, as I said, this is gourmet premium garbage.
This is very much garbage. I do appreciate the fact that they tried so hard to make this movie, and it was like a passion project basically, because I'll talk a little bit about the director. He's a salesman, a car salesman from Tulsa, Oklahoma, that just wanted to make a movie on his own time and with his own money.
With non-actors.
So he wrote, produced, and directed this movie, if you could even call it that. This experience. This experience.
It's at some point.
And this I can appreciate it for that. And they used an old newsreel camera apparently. So it actually looks. I'm not gonna lie. It actually looks pretty good. And some of the camera work in here is pretty. For this kind of movie is pretty impressive. I'm not even going to lie about that, because I was pretty impressed that they were able to move the camera around so much. They didn't do a bunch of still shots. This cameraman really wanted to get in with these actors, because he was zooming and moving around and doing all this shit. They were cramming him in the back of cars and shit.
Lots of dramatic close-ups. I mean,
and one in particular that we'll get to, which is hilarious.
You get a whole fucking.
They get philosophical, and it zooms in on every single one of them when they make their statement.
There's a whole thing with. I mean, they build a whole set with a house and a cave.
Well, the cave looks fucking stupid, but
the cave is incredible.
They tried.
They bathe.
It's not takeout containers, so we're all right.
It's
like paper mache.
It looks like a mattress store, and that's fine.
Which is that's fine. Apparently, they did use a warehouse, and they had a set, so they built all this stuff on. I mean, obviously, it's very apparent.
Last half.
But they built all this stuff. They did all the stop motion themselves. We'll get to that too. Again, just a passion project, and I can appreciate it for that. So I think that's when it clicked, where I'm just you know what? As we always say, anyone can make a movie.
But, you say that, and I say that, but not everyone can make Mutilations.
This movie, yeah, not everyone can make this movie.
Only one man could make
This
it.
takes a special kind of just madness to craft and Frankenstein this together to make this movie that we just watched.
This is what's great about this kind of level of.
It's only an hour.
Homebrew.
It's only an hour and 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Literally, like barely feature length. I would argue probably not feature length.
Yeah, I don't even know if it technically counts as feature length.
Because I think feature length has to be an hour and 20, right?
Maybe like an hour and 10,
This is
15.
like special, like afternoon special, or like a special.
This is only 10 minutes longer than like a premium TV show. Like TV episode.
So again, it's not going to waste your time, and it's very entertaining. I will say that.
Yes.
So anyway, let's get into it. So the credits are just basic. I mean, it's just text on the screen, and you have the Milky Way behind it.
Although,
Just
yeah,
like
the
stock galaxy. And then
a
we
narrator.
get this narration about
talking about the Milky Way.
Yeah, about our galaxy, and how there's a bunch of planets we haven't explored, and blah blah blah, and then you get a guy running across the screen with a flare.
Well, no, yeah, you get that, and then you get a teacher and some students in a field talking about space.
Well, and again, he's basically saying the same thing where it's like the vastness of space. We don't know. There's so many uncharted planets.
And then they see the meteor.
Again. All this like science shit. And then we see the meteor, which is a guy with a flare.
And then,
like a student points it out. They talk about how meteors never really hit the Earth. It's very rare, but they're known.
Talk about the acting.
Dude, okay.
It's not.
Okay,
the line. This movie's on YouTube, so please watch it.
My biggest problem with the acting.
Problem? I don't have a problem with this.
I can have a problem.
No.
I can still like the movie and have
If this movie had more competent acting, I would actually like it less.
I guess that's fair, but let me just explain why the acting is so bad.
Well, there's multiple layers.
But mostly it's the line delivery.
Yeah, but see,
they deliver the lines so awkwardly in the like weirdest way possible.
But it's multiple levels because you have our professor who is master enunciator. He is master. I give school presentations, man. He enunciates every word perfectly. This is a film about aliens and aliens that come
I
to
work
Earth.
at a university.
Like, you have that, and then you have the over actor who he like yells everything and
acts,
always like bouncing his head around.
He has
like
to act with his face and like be wide-eyed all the time and very animated and oh my god, there's stuff going on.
And then you have other people who just they just make pauses, they stumble over their lines, and it's just.
I also love the script writing because a lot of times they'll have the actors repeat lines. So
Yes.
for instance, one of them says like, I'm going to go look over there. And then another one will be like, hey, go look over there.
No. The best one was
I was just giving an example, but yeah, there is like a really good one where he
No, there's one where one of the girls is like, I was really hoping you'd be all right. Thank God you're all right.
Well, and then there's another one where the guy takes like a harpoon. This is later in the movie. He takes a harpoon and he's like, I'm going to take this for protection. And then and then I cannot make this shit up. She literally says, you should take that. Maybe you'll find your Moby Dick down there.
It's just.
Again, it's like, it's that kind of stuff where it's very, and like even that is like over, like even like how we're delivering those lines is better than what they delivered them in the movie. They're like, it's kind of those weird like uncanny valley where like you can only really do that kind of stuff once because it's hard to even like recreate it because it's just so weird and awkward and like
and amazing.
And it is amazing because again, you can't recreate it. I cannot do it justice because I can't.
It's impossible.
I can't really deliver the lines like they did We can give examples, but I can't recreate it.
Yeah, it was just a one and done.
Yeah, and like clearly all these were like single takes. They
Yes.
didn't fucking bother doing like reshoots
Who
or
needs it,
anything.
man?
So
Magic only
they're
happens
like
once,
they're
okay?
like fuck that. We're just gonna do the one time, one and done, because there are quite a few times where they stumble over lines.
They do.
And we get the greatest line known to man at this single point.
We'll get there.
And it's another banger, just like the ancient power where the guy says,
You mean the dark power?
the dark power, sorry. Eat my whip, you son of a bitch. Or taste my whip, or whatever he says. But the fucking...
I think Will's...
He delivers the line almost exactly like that, and it's beautiful and amazing, but we will get there.
And it's also an uncle.
Yes.
Well, it's also a grandpa, I should say. It's more than an uncle. But after,
So,
you know...
so after the credits, after they explain the comet and everything
point
going...
at the meteor, we get three drunks.
So, not just three drunks. They have names, okay? There's a whiskey guy, and a newspaper guy,
And a bean guy.
a bean guy, okay?
Bean hobo.
He's a bean hobo. Wouldn't you want to be called newspaper hobo?
Yes.
They don't call them hobos. I can't remember what the credits say. It's like vagrant or something like that.
I don't know.
But anyway, so there's...
But they're defined by what they're holding, okay?
Yeah, so one of them has a can of beans, one of them has a bottle of whiskey, and one of them has a newspaper.
Which on the
And
back
so
says written cattle mutilations with a exclamation mark.
Yeah, so they see this crash land, like, not crash land, sorry. So the ship comes by, and surprisingly, they're talking about aliens already.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I don't know, like, what these cattle mutilations are, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, they think it might be aliens. I don't know if I believe in aliens, blah. Like,
And then the miniature ship.
comes down, it lands, and then we get a fucking 2 little plastic feet.
Like it looks like a little action figure.
Just tippy-tappy down the fucking walkway.
Down the walkway and then through the dirt. And then
Get used to this shot, though. They use it quite a bit in this. They reuse it quite a bit.
Two of them
movie.
walk away to look, and then we hear screaming off camera. Then the last one gets up and walks toward it, and the little tube hand goes.
It's like this 3-pronged hand, and it just starts choking him, and he starts screaming.
And he starts screaming, and blood comes out, and he's dead.
So the next scene is they're in the class
talking about space.
It says high school, but I guarantee he says university. I know everything says high school, but they're clearly in college.
They say in the credits university. I remember Plainfield University.
Everything,
The synopsis on IMDb says high school.
I looked it up. Even the official synopsis says high school.
Is that official?
Yes.
Okay.
I looked it up.
Because we've never watched a movie that had a bullshit.
I know, right?
Marketing.
It doesn't really matter, but it did say high school. But I believe you, okay?
Yeah, because
that's what I'm trying to say. It's clearly college.
See, I'm not going off the fact that everyone in this movie looks 30. I'm not going off of that because I don't care.
Well, I mean, if it was believable, they'd be out of college at this point. But anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a movie. I don't care about that. But the fact that they multiple times mention Plainfield University is like...
Okay, like, I'm trying to agree with you, though. Like, I get it's college, but I'm saying the synopsis says high school. I don't understand why, but it is very clear they are supposed to be in college.
I got it, Will. I got
it. What is it?
He's a university professor, and the university sanctions him to have a field trip with high schoolers.
Sure, if that's what we need to do, fine. It does it really fucking matter, though?
No, because...
So they're going to take a field trip to Berry
Hill.
Berry Hill.
I was like, what the fuck are you trying to say?
The fucking town. I don't know.
Like bury the hatchet?
What? Well, speaking of hatchet, so...
Are you talking about the weapon stash?
Yeah. There's a hatchet. He uses a hatchet.
Those weapons look like they were from the caveman era.
Now, does he
Listen,
do anything with the hatchet? Well,
he does.
he sure swings it a lot, but he doesn't
No, he cuts off the hand.
once, and then he tries to use it again
That's
and
the
doesn't
thing.
do fucking
The
anything.
movie cost $95,000. What do you expect?
Fair. Okay. So
This is a
anyway,
Gladiator.
so they're gonna like drive there, and the professor's telling this one guy that like they're gonna go there, and he's like, well, be careful because there's a bunch of cattle mutilations and they've been having lots of trouble, and like I don't know if I would take a bunch of kids there. It might be dangerous. Well, I mean, he does anyway. Who's too? But of course, you have to have the arbinger, right? The guy that like warns them not to go.
I wasn't expecting in this movie to have that, but yeah, they went there.
Well,
They still
a
have
lot
it.
of horror movies do. I wasn't expecting it either, but they do have it. So they're driving and they see a fire.
No, that's after.
Oh, sorry. Well, because it shows a bunch of shots of them in the car and they're just talking about random shit.
So they're talking and they're just talking about random shit, and then one of them like freaks out, and they pull over, and we get a stop motion.
Cattle.
It's like
But it's like
a Play-Doh cow that's been skinned.
yeah, and so you can see it's like big ribs, and you can see the skull and
And
everything.
you're like, oh, what is it? And the professor has like a Geiger counter. Do you remember this? He has a Geiger counter that he's pointing at it, and it's like, doing the Geiger countering, and then it dies.
Well, I love the one woman is like, is it dead? And then it stops moving, and he's like, it is now.
And his Geiger counter stops beeping.
It
Like,
is.
was it giving off
Oh my
radiation?
God.
What?
It's like no, and again, their expressions are like not like you're stumbling upon this horrific.
Well,
Like okay, but here,
even his explanation, because they're like, "What is it?" And he's like, "Well, it used to be a cow, but now it's a monstrosity." Like,
imagine. Okay,
bitch, it's skinned.
here's my thing. Imagine you're driving on the countryside, and you see, like no shit, a cow
It's been skinned.
with completely fucking like skinned, like
But it's still alive.
down to its fucking bone and marrow,
Yeah.
and still fucking writhing on the ground. That shit would fuck me up for goddamn life. Are you kidding me?
But they're looking at it like it's.
They're
a
looking
fucking,
at it as like nothing. Like okay.
What is it? I don't know. And then it dies, and then they drive away, and then the UFO for
I don't understand what is going on in this scene still.
vibes. It starts zapping at them.
Well, and they're all like scared, and they're like, "What's going on?
Something.
Look at that thing up there!"
And then he says like it's trying to like suck the van up.
So it like zaps them, and they like suddenly stop
They
conveniently
get to a diner.
at a diner, and they go in,
and they're all spooked, and
spooked is relative in this
they're
movie.
spooked for 5 seconds, and they sit down.
Uh,
And then they order burgers, and
So the professor orders burgers for all of them, and then he's like, "Hey, we're going to this guy's house. Do you know like where it is exactly?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know if I would go there, but if you did, it's right over here."
they all start talking about the weird things that have happened and the cattle mutilations.
And then we get the best actor, who was just some random guy at this diner apparently, and he's talking about how he had like 2 German shepherds, and they were barking one night, so he let them out, and they went over, and
saw
like
lights.
they yelped, and then they were both dead and skinned alive.
Yes.
And how he doesn't know what's going on, but like he wouldn't go investigate it basically because it was so horrific.
But my favorite bit, the bit that made me lose it in this scene, is he mentions like he's like scared now, but I'll be ready. And then the camera pans down, and he has a little pistol in the holster, and he taps it twice. He taps it twice on the side.
Yeah.
It cuts to one of the students like looking confused. Anytime someone says something and it cuts to like someone's expression, the look on their face never quite matches what you would think,
Which actually makes it even more entertaining.
which is of course part of the genius of the film. And then after it cuts to the student looking odd, it cuts back to him, and now he's tapping the gun lightly, but on the front. It's like they didn't remember how they told him to tap it originally, so they're just like, okay, tap it.
I just missed opportunity. They should have had one more scene of him.
Well, because
tapping
after
the gun.
he taps it the second time twice, it cuts to another student with a different facial expression, and we're just like, again.
I'm like, are they gonna do it again? Nope, they did not. So they get the burgers. They start heading.
They get the burgers in a tiny bag.
Well, he orders burgers and fries for like an entire fucking class, and it's in this tiny brown bag. Continuity wasn't a thing in this either, so
it's part of the logic of the film. Okay,
it's like Mary Poppins' fucking fast food bag.
It's true. You reach in there, they're all in there, but on the outside, it just looks like one burger.
Yeah, it's like the TARDIS. It's bigger on the inside. So they start driving to this like crazy guy's house,
and that's where they see the wildfire.
Well, and they see a wildfire, and there's like this insane lightning storm starting.
And they're like, "What is that?" And we just get an extended shot of the fucking wildfire, and they're like, "What is that?" I don't know. Let's get closer.
Well, and it's like fucking,
fire.
It's fucking clearly just a fucking like farm fire.
And then they pull over,
and it's this big burned out ditch.
I love when they pull over because they are staring straight down.
Yes,
they are staring straight the fuck down, straight the fuck down. They are staring straight down, and you just see a shot of a field where they superimposed black on it. And you're like, are they standing on Mount Everest? Where the fuck are they standing if they're just staring straight down?
Yeah, they're on Mount Everest.
Mount Everest is in Oklahoma.
They're on the biggest hill in Oklahoma.
That's a tall hill, okay?
There's no mountains in Oklahoma, by the way.
And they're just staring
in case you didn't know, Oklahoma is very much just all plains.
Which is
my family's from Oklahoma, so like
this is personal for you.
It is a little personal.
This was fucking golden.
I just get.
And then they're like, "Oh, it looks like something landed there." So they move on.
So they go to this guy's house and they knock on his door, and there's this like, again, they mention this crazy lightning storm, and it's all these like superimposed like drawn like lightning streaks, and there's a ton of them, and they're fucking huge, and they're like just massive. But
every time it cuts to them, it's like a clear blue beautiful sky.
Yeah,
no clouds.
Again, continuity was not a thing.
Who cares? They couldn't wait for rain when they filmed this, I guess.
So this guy is like, "No, go on home. I don't want you here. I don't want to talk about this."
And then they're like,
"Please."
He says like,
"Well, they like, we traveled all this way. Like, we just want to talk to you." And then he's like, "Nope, go on home before it's too late.
Before it gets too late." And then he's like, "Look at this storm. It's too late now. Help us." And then he's like, "Fine."
He's like, "Fine, come on in."
He lets them in this house, and he has a billion fucking like Chinese dragon dog statues.
And
for some reason,
this is so stupid because they walk in and they're like, we're from the university, and we're studying stars and aliens."
Well, that's after he says like, "I bet you don't." Well, you don't believe in. Are you here to make fun of me?
He thinks they're like a bunch of like psychologists trying to pick his brain and call him a psycho
because he believes in aliens.
And they're like, "Nope, we're here to study aliens." And he's like, "Well, why didn't you say so?" And then starts opening up about it
into what I can only describe as someone's conspiracy brain ramble. Or so
it's all about how like no one believes in aliens, but this little town does because they get invaded by aliens all the time, and he's
remember the Joseph Smith thing?
Yeah, well, and they like,
what was that?
He mentions Joseph Smith again, local. Here we go, because we're in Utah, like land of the LDS,
and I don't even know
what
this is going at.
He goes into this like giant quote about how like everyone got a planet.
God made
fucking
billions of planets,
like billions of planets, and there has to be
on one,
and then life on others. But the gap is too far.
Yeah,
so
but God put a gap.
The aliens would never come to fucking Earth. All this fucking just gobbledygook.
And then Project Blue Book.
I know. They never mention that ever again.
I don't know what Project Blue Book is
He says like something about Project Blue Book.
It's a lie.
And how no one fucking believes anything. And then just like, again, like you said, just babblings of a conspiracy theorist.
And you're just like,
and I'm just
what
like,
is happening?
What the fuck is going on? And then all of a sudden, there's this fucking spaceship, like,
there's light in the sky,
gets like hit by lightning, and it fucking like flies down and fucking like starts crashing, and it crashes so hard into the earth that it starts sliding on the ground.
Do you remember that scene in Men in Black?
Yes.
Where they shoot the spaceship and it like fucking slams down into earth, and you see like it like comes toward the camera.
It's like that, but
this is the baby.
It's like that. It's like that
Dollar Tree version of that.
It's like that, but stupid.
This is the fucking Dollar General.
And it's like
version.
It's like on its nose and it's sliding,
and
they're like, "Oh, it's gonna collide with us!" And then you
does.
see this little tiny miniature of a house and this fucking spaceship just lightly tap into it, and it like rocks the whole house.
And the whole thing is.
And then now it's all
purple.
bathed in like violet and blue light
and dry ice.
Oh, they fucking blasted the fucking fog in this goddamn movie.
Listen, they had to have the fucking atmosphere here.
So they're all trying to figure out, I guess, what to do and like where to go from here because.
Well, I see, like they're saying they're trapped somehow.
Well, because the old guy's dead.
Yes.
Because he went to the window and like.
Take
like,
me.
He like Jesus posed in front of the window. And fucking just let the fucking aliens crash into his house.
He knew Joseph Smith's prophecy, so he fucking let it take him.
Joseph Smith, take me! So he fucking dies, and then another one of their friends gets impaled by a
large fucking wood thing.
It's all like bent and. It looks like a sword.
It looks like an Arabian sword.
I don't understand. But anyway, they're trying to decide what to do. And one of them like goes into the kitchen because he's gonna vomit because he sees the
woman with the
sword, the scimitar sticking out of her fucking chest, and so he's gonna vomit because he's like, I'm gonna look,
and he goes, and he's throws up in the sink, and then the fucking I don't know the fucking
hand.
Start going ballistic, remember?
I know, and it's all this fucking purple light.
The room starts shaking, and then the tube hand comes out.
And it, like, starts choking him, and for some reason, this is the only time it happens in the movie, it, like, sucks the life force out of him, because we get, like, a puppet, like, being, like...
Well, first we get, like, there's, like, almost, like, veins running across his face.
And then
it cuts to, like,
shows, a like,
puppet. But it's like his face, but like,
and it's like hairs falling off and
like smaller, like being like I don't know. It's like it looked like the fucking what was it? It looked like that scene in The Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
When they have like the life force sucked out of them.
Yeah.
It looked like that, and then he keeps screaming the whole time, and then finally one of them's like, "I think that's Bob."
I love how it. And again, they show like what the house is supposed to be. It's like this tiny.
Not that big, bro.
It's like a one-room house, and they just now hear their friend getting his life force sucked the fuck out of him.
Screaming, yes.
Screaming the entire fucking time.
Yes.
And they're like, I think we should check on Bob.
And they go in there, and it's just like goop and his glasses.
Well, remember the alien's a dick because it steps on his glasses for some reason.
While it's choking him, yes. It steps on him.
But when the guy picks up his glasses, they're pristine.
They're missing one handle.
Because again, continuity is not... continuity is not in this guy's forte.
This movie, it resembles someone's nightmare.
So like, okay, and then he looks over and he sees a little tiny alien foot just like poking out from behind the fridge.
And they go back to the living room and they're like, whatever killed him is still in the house. It might be in the kitchen. And then what the fuck even happens?
Well, there's like so they got to get out of there because remember there's like a cellar.
I know eventually there's because there's a door and it has like 3 wooden boards stacked on it, right?
They're like, we gotta get out. Well, I think the aliens start like getting into the house.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, we gotta go. Like, let's find a way out of here. We'll go through this cellar.
Oh no, I remember now. They look around. One of them goes into the bathroom to wash her face.
Oh, you're right. And sees the. This is why I forgot it, because you can barely see what the fuck is going on.
Well, she sees the shadow of the hand on the shower curtain, so she opens it.
You don't get one shower curtain pull in this movie. You get 2.
I don't know where that. Whatever. She pulls it open. There's nothing there, and then she sees it again, and she pulls it open, and there's a little window, and they peek through it, and they're horrified, and you see like 2 like glowing orbs shrouded in fog. It looks like a fucking fly or something.
You can like barely decipher what the fuck
and
you're
they
looking
yell, at. And then
So
they're
that
trying to come in.
So that kickstarts them to go to this fucking cellar door that has literally like 3 boards sitting on it, and it takes them for fucking ever to pull
You
these.
see like a close up, like a 30-second close up of like 40 fucking wooden boards being taken away.
Well, they're like moving like floorboards and all this shit.
Like, bro, it ain't that big.
Like, dude, it's not that big of a deal.
But apparently it was.
So they go in there and they close the door, and like one of the women is like against the door while they're trying to figure out like.
Yeah, she's against the door, but also they see like a table, and there's a bunch of medieval weapons on it.
There's a machete, a hatchet, I think.
A fucking like. Whatever, a
Harpoon?
pointy fucking harpoon, yeah.
No, like or like a javelin
Yeah, and like,
or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. It's like
this will come in handy. And he takes the machete and like
he like looks down the barrel of the
like
fucking machete.
shoot it at something.
I was like, why are you checking how straight it is, bro? Just fucking get out of
Do you
there.
understand why I love this movie now? When you go through all this insanity.
No, like listen, like I said, I turned around. I did.
You started huffing.
I did. The cope is real.
And once you huff it, your life is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. He stares down the fucking edge of the machete like it's a weapon.
Well, it is, I mean, it's a weepon, but like
Yeah,
it's a
but
gun.
A gun. And then
so she's like leaning against this fucking door.
This is after though when they look through the fucking. There's like a window, and they look through it, and they're like scared at something. You're like, what the fuck? And then one of the women is like, I saw them. They're mutilating and eating the cattle raw. And the whole time she's like shaking.
I think even that delivery was better than how she did it.
Well,
in the
it's
movie.
like the way she
Again,
delivers it.
You can't recreate this shit.
It sounds like she was making it up as she went along. Like they're mutilating and eating them raw. Like you're improvising.
They're
raw.
eating and mutilating them raw.
As opposed to cooked.
Yeah,
Sure.
I guess. We've already seen them mutilate a cow, so I mean, I don't get why she's like all of a sudden surprised, and I have no idea when they went to look out the window.
Well, then they're like, they might be, they don't know how to feel about us and blah, blah, blah. And then one of them starts pounding at the door, remember? And the hand peeks through the door. And then one of them takes the machete and stabs it through the hand, and the hand peeks away. And then they're like, well, now, I think, now they'll be more aggressive towards us.
And then the girl's like standing at the door, and you see the fucking hand go through the door.
And then she's screaming, and then like a little bit of blood pools around her sweater in their midsection, and then it punches through her torso.
They wait until that moment where the hand is fully through her entire fucking body, and our hero jumps into action.
He takes the hatchet, and he chops off the alien hand.
And the girl is like clearly dead at this point. Like,
Yes.
I mean, there's no fucking reviving her, right? So, they take the hand out of her body
And throw it away.
and you can still see it moving.
And they have her boyfriend presumably is all doing his best. She's dead.
She's dead.
Kill her.
You killed her.
You were warned not to come here. And then
He's doing a bunch of the.
my favorite though is does he does that, and then it just cuts to the professor in extreme close up with no emotion, just like, listen, we're all under stress. To which I was like,
Oh
yes,
God,
that's me. I am, because of this movie, I am under stress.
Listen, we're all under stress.
This fucking movie put me under stress. And it keeps cutting to the fucking hand on the ground, just awkwardly.
When he just like stares at it for like a good like 15, 30 seconds.
And then they're like, they're.
So their only option is to go into the cave
Because
system.
one of them's like, didn't he say that this house was like built in the 20s by bootleggers? There's probably like hidden passages. And they see a hidden passage. And they go down the hidden passage. And they again have to take the boards off the passage. And they go down the fucking mattress store.
So they're like exploring the caves, and then all of a sudden they like get to a clearing, and they're all like taking a break. And then this is when they start getting like, just again, it's like ramblings of like conspiracy theory, and like they start mentioning like how Nazis and like fascism.
Well, they basically start
how like that we're. If you really think about it,
humans are bad.
We're all like
humans are evil.
We're all cattle to the slaughter.
Well, they're basically saying like, I bet that like to them, the aliens view us like how we view cattle that we slaughter for burgers.
It's like the Nazis when they,
like, who are we to be superior? We, when we committed the Holocaust and Nazis.
Well, they see us destroying other lives and
like a certain movie. The Day the Earth Stood Still. Well, this is better than The Day the Earth Stood Still.
You shut your fucking mouth.
The Day the Earth Stood Still did not have any of this.
You shut your fucking
The Day
mouth.
the Earth Stood Still did not have.
It had way better messages.
About biscuits, I disagree.
Okay, it didn't have a biscuit line. But anyway, so every time they deliver their lines, it will show them from like kind of like a mid shot, right? And then as they're delivering their final like punch, like their final like message, right? It hard zooms into their face.
And each character gets their moment of zoomies.
Except for the guy that like walked away presumably during this.
He walks away and he comes in contact with the alien and it kills him, and you just see the alien like throw his leg away like a used chicken bone.
It looks like a turkey leg that they put a fucking
leg on,
like a fucking shoe on,
and then he throws it away.
But like no one,
I swear to God,
no one really reacts or like cares about his death.
I could be losing my mind, but they never fucking mention him again.
He just dies and no one cares.
I swear nothing happens.
Because they start going through the cave again, and then they sit down again, and then this is where they declare their love for each other.
No, that's after.
Okay.
We're forgetting, because that's after they battle the aliens.
Oh, that's right. The first time they battle the aliens.
Because that's when she realizes that she likes the guy because the alien knocks his glasses off. Okay.
It's like those fucking 90s movies where they like the hot girl, all you have to do is take off the glasses.
Yeah.
The hot guy is you just take off his glasses. Yeah.
So they...
How progressive.
Yeah, this movie's ahead of its time. They walk into this big open area,
and it's very well lit. I don't know why this only part of the cave is like well lit,
because it's where the fight scene occurs.
The fight scene.
It's like when you're playing a game and it's like all dungeons, and then you walk into a big open room that's all well lit, and you just know in your head, oh, this can be a boss battle.
That's when the fucking like the health bar appears at the bottom,
and the fog wall blocking you from leaving appears. You're like, oh shit!
And the music like swells into this huge like grandiose thing. Yeah.
So we get two stop motion aliens fighting them, and the professor fights one of them.
Well, so they swing the axes and the harpoon at the camera. They're clearly poking nothing.
Well, they wave like a puppet hand.
Well, see, what I think is stupid is they had the actors like literally so you could see the tip in the frame of the camera, so they didn't have them stab off screen, right?
No.
They're all it's all on screen,
You do sometimes, but what they usually
But
do
most
is,
of the time, it stops before they hit the frame.
but you also have the shots where they have the actor stabbing at nothing, and then they superimpose the
I just
stop motion.
love how disjointed and stupid it looks.
This
Because I
is
mean,
insane.
if you've seen like Jason and the Argonauts,
Yeah.
this is a good example. Like this is exactly what they do, right? They put stop motion and they put the actors
Fighting with nothing.
But again,
But you,
that was made by professionals who could like be like, okay, you're supposed to stand here. This is where it's gonna be.
yeah.
This is what's gonna happen, and the actors understood the assignment,
And then
and
you
so
animate,
it looks legit.
and you animate the thing that's not there fighting with the actor, and you sync it together, or you do what this movie does and just have them waving at each other.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's two options that you can do with like stop motion fight scenes.
You got
And
the Argonauts, and then the other end of the spectrum, you have mutilations.
Where they were just like, okay, just stab in this general direction, and we'll try and put the monster there.
There's like a 1 second shot during this where the dude with the glasses is laying on the ground and he's fighting the alien,
stabbing up,
and the alien is stabbing forward, and he is poking.
He's not even poking anything. He's not even poking. He's
Straight
poking,
up.
He's poking air.
And he gets injured, and the girl starts flashing a flashlight at it, and it spooks it. And then the one alien gets stabbed and he dies, and then the other alien is about to shoot one of them, and she takes the lantern
And throws it.
at the alien, and it disappears.
Well, no, it like she throws this lantern at it, and for some reason that makes the phaser reverse shot into the alien for some reason, and he disappears.
Sure. Also, can I just mention that there's one of them who, during all of this, carries 3 dynamite sticks, and then she doesn't actually ever do anything with those 3 dynamite sticks.
They literally don't, because there's a kaboom box at the...
So that comes for no reason.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to be carrying around this dynamite.
So after this, they limp around.
And then they confess their love for each other, so the fucking the nerdy guy gets with the girl.
She says, "Oh, you look so different without your glasses. I can see the real you." And he says, "Well, I've always liked you." And they kiss. And then the professor and his secretary, also confess their love. And then they walk some more, and they come across a rat tunnel. And we get a big fucking rat puppet.
A guy with his hand up a rat puppet's ass.
And it squeals at them, and then that's it.
Well, so apparently there was supposed to be like this big elaborate rat scene, but they cut it out of the movie. Like,
Didn't have enough money.
They didn't have enough money and time to do it.
Shame.
So you just get a bunch of screaming rats as they're fucking going through this.
And one puppet.
But you don't actually see like any rats on camera.
Other than the one.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
So they get to another clearing and they see like a way out, right? And so
back where they came from.
So like, okay, we're gonna get out of here, but like you guys, of course, the professor is like, you guys go. I'm gonna like stay and like fight them off. And so he sees a box of dynamite, not the 3 sticks they were carrying around.
No.
A box of dynamite, and the alien comes into the room, and he's holding a flashlight, so I don't know. He blinds him for a second.
He also lights the dynamite.
Yeah, he lights the dynamite. The 3 get out, and
they're outside with the 2 guys from the diner.
And you see an alien point its gun at the girl, and then you hear them fucking shooting a shotgun, and then so the diner guy,
the cook,
is shooting a fucking shotgun, and he's like, eat my biscuits, you bloodsucker.
And we had to rewind it because I was like, I have no clue what he's saying.
I'm like, there's no way he's saying eat my biscuits.
But it sounds a hell of a lot like biscuits. And then they fucking...
So the guy starts fighting the alien in the cavern because apparently he lights the world's longest fuse in existence.
I remember the guys outside shoot some more. And
when the aliens start shooting at them, and then some guy mentions in the fucking shit, like, you can't hear it, and he's like, "You taking my card?" Like,
And then he's
and he's
like,
like, "My day old."
and then well,
What do
the
you-
guy shoots the alien and kills it maybe, and then he's like, what are you shooting with? And then he says, "Day old biscuits for what?"
Just in case you needed
No, it's
clarification.
like yesterday's biscuits.
Yesterday's biscuits for blah blah blah.
And that's when we were
I
like,
don't
okay,
know what he said.
they are saying
They literally
biscuits.
said biscuits because they're the clear as day. He says yesterday's biscuits for blah 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 blah.
For what that? And okay,
So the secretary is gonna go back in for the guy who's
Yes.
fighting off an
with a
alien.
pistol.
And so she goes in with a pistol and starts shooting at the alien. They like knock it down.
Don't forget, when she's shooting, she's waving that gun
I know. She's just-
like a fucking
she's just
baby.
firing it all over and I swear to God, there's a few times I can't quite tell because the quality is not great, but like she fires it at random times too. Like you can
Yeah.
see her pulling the trigger, like when it's up above her head, you can see
No,
her
it's like
pulling
pointing
it.
down, like all over. But each time the bullet hits, it's magical. It's like it's a magic bullet.
They're
Okay.
floating bullets. These biscuit bullets are good, man.
And then that's it. And they walk out.
Well, no, like they embrace, and all this, like all the while. So they are in the cave. They've
Yeah.
just knocked over the alien. Mind you, he's already lit the fuse like a while
Saw it
ago.
go into the box.
A while ago, and they embrace, and they're like, "Okay, now we need to get out of here."
But slowly.
But this dynamite is slow acting dynamite. It lets our heroes get out of the cave.
Well, let's get out of the cave, and it lets them talk to the two guys from the diner, and they're like, and they basically say something like, "Well, like that's it for the house," and then it blows up the house and the spaceship, and then
It doesn't blow up. They fucking disappear in
they
like
disappear.
lasers
they disappear, and then
because they weren't man enough to blow up their
fucking-
miniatures.
I understand. One of the diner guys is like, he basically says like, "Well, that's it then," and then credits.
Yeah, that's our movie. Jesus Christ, dude. Like, everything was so horrifically bad, but, like, made such an entertaining goddamn movie. Everything was so just... It was so awkward and so... Like, the camera work was okay, and the audio was fine, but everything else was so awkward and cringe and just, like, bullshit. But for some reason, that's very entertaining.
I like I said before, well, if this movie had better acting and better writing and etc., I would probably like it less.
And that's the weird thing, because you're right. Like, you only get this once.
I think when they did the love scene where both of the two couples realize they love each other in like a 15-second scene, I think that is when I really accepted the cope. I took that gas mask of copium and I was like, give it to me.
I'll admit it took me until the biscuit line.
No, the biscuit line just...
That ended me like I was dead. I could not breathe.
Because
He literally said,
I don't even know what to say about that. What do you say about that?
I've never in my life seen a movie where someone legitimately says, "Eat my biscuits," while firing a sawed-off shotgun.
Eat my biscuits, you bloodsucker.
While firing a sawed-off shotgun, and then later admits that he's using day-old biscuits in his buckshot.
Yeah,
I don't... What?
yesterday's biscuits.
What? He's loading his fucking shotgun shells with yesterday's biscuits?
Those things are lethal, man.
I know.
It fucking... Because the alien is wearing what
Listen.
looks like armor.
Depending on diner biscuits, like even day of diner biscuits are stale as fuck. So
Yeah, listen, you go to some of those fucking...
they're
basic
fucking
bitch-
they're dry as the Sahara Desert.
by the fucking freeways and shit. You get those biscuits and you're like, wow, I love rocks.
You're just like, wow, this is great. And then you just fucking reach for the fucking honey butter and just slather it with it to
Would you like some biscuit with your honey butter?
To make it even remotely edible. So I get it.
But in this movie, I guess it's like, add another day to that. And that alien's space armor, fucking nothing. It's like cutting through butter. It's just, okay.
Just fucking shreds.
I don't even know what to say.
I don't either. Like, I don't think there's much else we can say. So let's go to Shitty to Pretty.
Well,
I'll be honest, okay? I'll be completely honest. I was ready. I was fully ready before the copium to give this not like a 1 or a 2, but like a lower rating.
How dare you?
Let me admit the errors of my ways, Alex, okay?
Can't believe it.
I was You're so offended. I was ready. Jesus Christ.
Some people don't know God when
You're
they
like,
see
you
it.
fucking prude. How dare you give Mutilations a low rating?
It's like the people who hate The Godfather. What's wrong with you? It's boring. How dare you?
So I was ready, right?
But
I accept this movie for what it is. Finally, it clicked. So it's gonna get a higher rating because of the biscuits line, and because I just accepted that like what we had just watched for the past like hour
was insanity.
Was absolute fucking like brain melting insanity. Like you only get this kind of movie every once in a while.
Yeah, this is a rare breed.
Like I have yet to see a movie that's quite like this, and I don't think I ever will again.
This is definitely a once in a blue moon thing.
So for that reason, I'm giving it like, I'm gonna probably give it, to be honest, like it's not 10 for me. I don't know what you're gonna rate it, but like probably like a 7.
I mean, listen, I think you know what I'm gonna rate it. Will
a 10
because
for entertainment.
What do we call this? What is Shitty to Pretty? It's
okay. So for people who don't know, Shitty to Pretty is our rating system because every podcast review has to have a rating system, right? We have to be
special, okay?
So we came up with a stupid rhyme, Shitty to Pretty, and so it's 1 to 10, 1 being shitty,
and it's just entertainment value.
10 being pretty, which means that we just enjoyed watching the movie. It's not like an actual like scoring, right? Because these are all bad movies.
Yeah, this isn't like
we can't like
this is like Goodfellas.
Yeah, we can't be too critical because these are all bad movies. That's the whole point of the fucking podcast. So it's entertainment value. Mm-hmm. So you're right. I'm gonna bump mine up to 9. Okay.
See, you already know.
Because I mean, I'm thinking about it, and it was just, I felt like I was losing my fucking mind while watching this movie. And it's only an hour. It's only an hour long, and like it feels like a fever dream.
That's the thing. Because see, for me, it is a 10. There were so many moments of this movie where we just like exclaimed in disbelief, "What?"
Well,
we just started like fidgeting in our seats, going insane. There were so many moments.
Well, there's also some moments where it's like if you were a fly on the wall and you just saw us, we were just fucking like mouth agape, just wide-eyed staring at what we were watching.
There is so much
like no fucking dialogue between us, just fucking we both understood. And we were both like our fucking like the brain was leaking out of our eyes and our fucking mouths and just like in disbelief.
What's that fucking Italian horror movie where the woman's like, you know what I'm talking about, where her eyes start bleeding?
Oh fuck. It's not like Zombie, but
same director.
Same director as Zombie. I know it's the same director because like his style is very unique. What was it called?
I'm looking it up. Yeah, her eyes start bleeding, and then her fucking guts start coming out of her mouth.
Yeah.
That was us watching this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, at some point, we were just like...
Mutilations mutilated us.
It mutilated my brain.
It mutilated and ate us raw.
Ate us raw? Oh, my God.
What the fuck is that movie?
I'm looking it up.
Yeah,
All these fucking directors' movies
I'm
have the
sure,
same
like-
titles. I can't remember.
I'm sure someone knows, obviously. I know it's by the director of Zombie, though.
Oh my god.
If you haven't seen Zombie, go watch it, too. It's fucking great.
A zombie fights a shark.
Yeah, Zombie Fights a Shark. It's fucking insane. This Italian director, too, like, if you look into his fucking work, I know this is not that podcast, but if you like gore and, like, special, like, weird special effects, go check this guy out. Like, I'm sure a lot of you have already heard of him. What's his name?
Lucio Fulci.
Yeah. You need to go look at his work if you're into anything like that.
His work runs the full gamut of schlock.
There's a lot of fucking shit. Like, there's like a scene of a guy getting like whipped by a chain and like is fucking mental. It is
because in Don't Torture a Duckling, there's also someone who gets whipped by a chain.
Yeah.
But a woman gets whipped by a chain.
It's fucking insane.
Okay. It is either, and again, I'm not sure which one of these it is because they're both almost the same movie, same fucking plot, but it's either City of the Living Dead or The House by the Cemetery. How original.
I think I was thinking of The House by the Cemetery because I'm pretty sure.
You know what's weird is the only way I know the difference between these two movies is because of the one poster that I remember, and I can't fucking find it.
Of course.
But that was us watching the Mutilations.
So go to YouTube. Shout out to the channel we watched on, Kevin Doyle.
Kevin Doyle.
So Kevin and then Doyel. He has a bunch of movies on his channel, on their channel. So go check it out. It's on there. All 1 hour and 7 minutes of pure glory. Just have some fun with it. Have a few beers.
It's City of the Living Dead.
Okay, it's City of the Living Dead. Okay, no, you're fine. Okay, so I was wrong. I thought it was the other one, but they are very similar plots. So
they both involve a house and dead people and guts and blood.
I mean, pretty much all his fucking movies involve a house and guts and blood
and rad synthesizer music
and extremely gory, like just horrifically like detailed mutilation scenes.
Yes, like oddly detailed.
It's fucking weird, but it's cool. If you like special effects and like practical special effects, go check out his work.
Yes.
But anyway, and also go check out Mutilations while you're at it. Go watch this movie.
Maybe our Tulsa salesman was inspired by.
He is. I mean, this guy is extremely famous in the special effects world. So,
like maybe this dude was inspired. And he was like, I can make my own schlock.
Yeah.
And guess what? He did.
Yeah.
And I love this.
I think it's worth checking out if you're into like B movies.
This has, for us, I would assume I speak for both of us. This has so much of that insane cult movie quality.
Well, again, I can just appreciate it because you'll never quite see anything like this.
Yeah, this is a singular...
This isn't like something you see every day.
No.
And that's what I can appreciate about it because it's different. It's fucking weird and stupid.
And they really went for it.
But at the end of the day, it's insanely entertaining and it will not waste your goddamn time.
Yeah. Like, they really went for it with... They threw everything they could afford at this, and I will always admire that. And yes, the fact that this does not waste your time, because we've watched some movies. I mean, our last movie before this.
It literally gets right to it and doesn't fucking like slow down.
Because we watched a movie before this that was fucking cheap and stupid, but that movie just wasted our fucking time. And then you get this, and you're just so glad that it doesn't waste your time.
And, you know, shout out to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Your family's home.
Yep, I've been there many times, so I know what they're dealing with there. So shout out. And Larry Thomas, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I know it's your only credit, but thank you for making a weird, stupid movie that we both really enjoyed.
Yeah.
So for They Mostly Come Out at Night, this has been Will.
This has been Alec.
And we'll talk to you all later.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm going to go huff on yesterday's biscuits.
I need some fucking biscuits right now, dude. I fucking want those biscuits.